Hi, Danny Lipford here, along with my co-host Joe Truini, and welcome to this very special Today's Homeowner podcast. It's all about the 4 seasons of homeownership, and this is our summer checklist. Brought to you by the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Danny and I put together a list for each season. And this time we're going to be talking about summer, of course, because, there's certain maintenance job that you need to do, but if you don't have a list, how are you going to keep track of them, right? So we've broken it down to a really simple one for each season, and we're going to get into the summer list coming up.
That's right. And you know what? Because like Joe said, it can be so overwhelming if you have, 50 or 60 things on a list. But if you can break it down a little bit, what we did here is, first of all, we identified what we're calling the top 10 must-do list. That's one section of the list. And then the second part is if time and budget allow. Third part of it, a little something extra. So, Joe, why don't we tie into this top 10 must-do list? And along with that, we also tell you approximate time it takes and what little bit of money you'll need to spend at Home Depot in order to get everything that you need. So kick it off, Joe.
Okay, and by the way, I'd like to just first say, if you look at this list, don't start to panic right away, because chances are you're not going to need to do all of these.
That's right.
Depending on the equipment in your house and what your home and yard look like. So you might not need to do all of these, but you should certainly be aware of them. So the first thing, of course, is to change the air conditioning and heating system filters. You need to do that, especially on central air this time of year. You want to make sure you're kicking off the season. You're going to be using your air conditioner more now than any other time, right? So you want to make sure that filter is changed. You get a nice clean filter in there, because a dirty filter will slow down that system. You won't get it; it'll strain the system. You won't be getting any of the benefits, and you'll be using more energy, which will cost you more, of course. And this changing the filter, we have a very liberal 15 minutes. Now, 15 minutes is if you pull the filter out, then go outside, have a soda, look at the trees and the birds, come back in and put in the new filter.
But you have the unpackaging. You have to take it out of the plastic wrapper.
That's right. That's right. I mean, once you got the new filter and you're at the air conditioner, I mean, how long does it take, Danny? Less than 2 or 3 minutes?
Right, exactly. But it is a good idea, once you have that filter out, to reach up into that cavity there, which is the plenum, and go ahead and vacuum that out, because sometimes dust will accumulate in there that maybe sneak past the filter at some point. So vacuuming all of that out, and to get a good quality electrostatic filter is going to cost you between $12 and $15, and then you're set for about 3 months then, until the next list comes out, to be able to show you exactly what you need to do in order to that. So that's number 1 on our top 10 must-do list. Number 2 still has to do with air conditioning, and this is where you need to flush that AC drain line out. Pour a little bleach in there, a cup of bleach. You'll probably do this a couple times during the summer, but on our radio show, the Today's Homeowner radio show, we hear a lot of people having problems that they have not done this. It backs up and causes a lot of damage inside the home.
That's right. If it overflows that overflow pan that's hanging underneath your air conditioner unit, well, that water's got to go somewhere, and you don't want it soaking through your house. So you should do this at least twice in the course of the summer. And again, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes, and it costs almost nothing, especially if you have bleach in the house. If you have to go and buy bleach, maybe it'll cost you $4 or $5. But yeah, that's really important to do at least twice during the cooling season this summer.
Okay, the third thing on this top 10 must-do list is check any loose railings or damage on wood decks and repair if needed. This is certainly an important safety issue. Very easy to walk around, check everything, wiggle it a little bit, and then install some new coated deck screws anywhere that you can tighten it up to make sure that if someone is on your deck and relying on that railing, that they can truly rely on it to keep them nice and safe. What's number 4 there, Joe?
Number 4 is to inspect fencing and gates for damage and repair them as necessary. Fences and gates you probably don't think about too much until they stop working or start falling over, but don't wait for that. You don't want to find your fence leaning badly or laying down on the ground. And of course, gates have a tendency to sag over time and drag along the ground. So at least once a year at the beginning of the summer, try to inspect those and replace any damaged or rotting boards. Check the posts, of course, especially where they enter the ground, because that's where they show damage most often. Be really careful using a string trimmer to eat up, because that'll eat up that wood. So try to stay away from. In fact, Danny, I think I shared a simple solution to protect those fence posts. Dig out the dirt and grass from around each post and just fill it with gravel. This way you don't even have to go near it. Put down some landscaping fabric and some gravel. This way the grass won't grow, the weeds won't grow, and you won't even have to go near it with your string trimmer.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great idea. Another thing that you want to do, and you may have already done this, is to thoroughly clean and inspect your outdoor grill. And when we're talking about inspecting, really look closely at the bottom because, sometimes a little water gets in there. You sprinkle a little water, rust can occur. You can have a hole there and not even know it. And then whether it's a gas grill or a charcoal grill, the dripping of hot liquid or even embers and cause some real big problems. So you want to take a good look at that. And also, what about this next one, Joe? You better check that furniture.
Yeah, the outdoor furniture, especially if it's wood, you got to clean it and check it for any loose fasteners, any rot if it's wood. I think most people have steel or plastic, so the weather isn't as damaging. But if you have cushions, see if you can slip the cushions off. If you can wash those cushions, the covers, but you want to clean them well. If they're wet after cleaning, you have to put them out to dry and do it on a really sunny day because you don't want them sitting and taking a week to dry because you could end up with some mold. So yeah, clean the outdoor furniture and then check all the fasteners. Even if they don't look like they're loose, go and try to tighten them up. You'd be surprised how many times you'll find it will be loose.
Yeah, well worth it. And okay, here's one on our list that will really throw you off a little bit. Have your fireplace chimney professionally inspected and cleaned. You're like, why in the world? Well, think about it. Those guys have almost no work to do right now. When it gets really cold and it's fall and it's winter, they're busy and they're jumping around like crazy. Hard to get them out to your house. And maybe they even get in a bit of a rush right now. They will appreciate your call and just think how far ahead you'll be in getting your fireplace cleaned out from all of the winter creosote and all of that. You're able to inspect it and have plenty of time for them to repair it if necessary. Hopefully no repairs are needed, but you'll be able to get it done easily before then. Okay, we're going down our top 10 must-do list, and we're down to number 8. What you got, Joe?
Scrape away any loose paint from siding or from your wood trim, and then prime it and paint it. Now's the time to do that, of course, because you don't want to wait till it's snowing or really too cold to be outside. So you want to scrape it loose, sand it if you have to. If you're concerned at all that if it's older paint that might have some lead in it, do a lead test. You can go to Home Depot and get a really simple little lead test kit. You just rub it on the paint, and you'll see if it contains lead. If it does, then call in a professional. But yeah, scrape or sand off any loose paint. Prime it, particularly if you ever expose any bare wood, you have to prime it, otherwise the top coat paint won't stick as well. So look around, and if you're working on a ladder, be of course really careful, but yeah, get rid of that loose paint and put on a fresh coat of primer and paint before the summer's over.
Now, number 9 on the list is something that a lot of people they claim they don't like, and certainly cleaning all your windows inside and out is not the best Saturday in your life to spend doing that.
Do it on Tuesday.
But I'll tell you, it doesn't take that long, and if you have the right squeegee that you can buy at Home Depot and the right cleaner, good environmentally friendly window cleaner, and have one person on the inside, one person on the outside so that you're not missing anything, you can roll along on it pretty easily.
Yep.
Turn on some music, have some fun with it, and you'll be surprised how much cleaner those windows will look, and make sure you're cleaning all around. Now, what about the last one here, Joe?
All right, pull all the weeds and add mulch to your gardens and planting beds. Of course, you want to make sure that you get these weeds before they get completely out of control. So you may have to do this a couple of times, but if you keep on top of it, and if you add the mulch, of course, the mulch will help. Well, mulch does several things. It helps prevent weeds from growing, but it also retains moisture, so the ground doesn't dry out, and of course, then your plants will be a lot happier. So get down there and get those weeds out and add some mulch.
Now, when you kind of recap what we just said here, these 10 different items, first of all, like Joe said a minute ago, you may not even have some of these things that are relevant to your particular home. But if you did, and you did all of this, average time, being a little conservative here, we're talking about only about a day and a half, about 12 hours, and you're only going to be spending at Home Depot about $220. And this really, in our opinion here at Today's Homeowner, really gets you up to speed, up up on all of your maintenance chores on the top 10 must-do list on the Four Seasons of Homeownership Summer Checklist. You can download the entire list and see all these videos, all kinds of different little tricks, articles, and, of course, our podcast by going to todayshomeowner.com/Four Seasons. Use the number 4. So that pretty much is the main part of our checklist, but we like to go over and give you a few more suggestions in this category if time and budget allow. Kick that one off, Joe.
All right, Danny, here you go. Clean the grills and the fan blades on your bathroom exhaust fans. I know a lot of people probably have never even thought to do that, but it's really important because you want to keep that fan operating as efficiently as possible and lasting as long as possible. So the grill that goes up against the ceiling usually is plastic. You just want to, and it just is held in ordinarily with a couple of little spring clips. You just pull it, it'll just come right down. Then you can pinch those. Ordinarily, if you just pinch those little wires together, you can remove it entirely for easy cleaning. And inside, you'll see the housing, the motor housing, with the fans and the fan blades, which are, of course, spinning and exhausting all that hot air out of your bathroom. So clean them. Be gentle with the blades, of course. You don't want to bend them or break them or anything, but you just wipe them down, usually just a damp cloth. And the grill is the same thing. Clear off. You'll see it'll have collected some since the last time you cleaned it. So clean that really well and put it back up.
And don't be shocked in what you might find, because I guarantee you'll find some stuff up there you had no idea was there. Another thing on this particular list, if time and budget allow, inspect for any cracks in concrete foundation walls, driveways, and sidewalks, and fill the cracks with concrete repair caulk. You can easily pick up that material at Home Depot, and that way you can prevent that crack from getting any worse. You also have to think about the cracks in those asphalt driveways, Joe.
Absolutely, just like in concrete, it's probably going to crack sooner or later, and you want to take care of that as soon as possible. I do make special products, caulks, for sealing cracks, and then, of course, once you get everything sealed up, you can recoat it with a driveway sealant. And they have the no-mix type these days, Danny, where you used to have to buy those big 5-gallon cans and mix it up, and it was so thick it was almost impossible. But now they have the type that you don't have to mix it. You just spread it out with a squeegee, and your driveway will look good as new.
And a few other things here. Clean and deodorize your garbage disposal. Plenty of tips available at todayshomeowner.com to take care of that. And very, very easy. And it's good so that you can, make sure that the garbage disposal lasts as long as it should. And also to make sure it's not putting out any bad odors. And then also your shower curtains. If you have shower curtains instead of shower doors, you might want to look at that real close. You'd be surprised what a difference it can make by replacing those shower curtains, or at least washing those.
Yep.
And what's the final thing on our if time and budget allow list, Joe?
Well, you want to remove all heating and cooling registers, the grills that you see in your rooms, and then clean them thoroughly, then replace them. And you're doing that for the same reason you're cleaning the grills on your bathroom vent fans. You just want to get rid of all that dust and any accumulation. And again, you might be surprised what you find down there, some Legos or pieces of food, who knows what. But remove those. And you really, if you do that once, twice a year, it'd be plenty. But it is important because over the years, they do accumulate quite a bit of dust and dirt.
And if you look at the total time on this particular list, we're talking about another 7 hours and cost of about $50. And I'll tell you, again, if you go to todayshomeowner.com/Four Seasons and download this list, it actually has the little boxes to check off. You can print this out, put it on your refrigerator, and then just we have a few minutes here and a few minutes there to be able to check these things off and really make you feel good about taking care of what's probably your largest investment, your home. Now, if you're really getting ambitious, and you're really that progressive homeowner and you want a little something extra, here's a few things that we have on this list. There's only 4 things on this, but here's the first one. Purge, clean, and organize the garage, and schedule a garage sale if needed to be able to get rid of a lot of those things. Joe, the second one.
Well, summer brings summer storms, right, Danny? So it's really important if you have a generator, either a standby, a whole house standby generator or a portable generator, inspect it, perform regular maintenance, bring it to a shop if you need to, make sure it's fresh gas, fresh filters, fresh oil, because you do want those running. You don't want them to have a problem with them once the storms come in, possibly knock out electricity. So take care of that this summer.
And the next thing on our list here is to put a little personality on the front of your house by painting that front door a bold color, or refinish the existing stain or paint that you might have, and make sure you're adding a sealer to protect it. That always makes the front of the house look a lot better when that front door really shines. And then here's this next one's kind of one of my favorites that I like to do from time to time that is so gratifying.
Organize one closet.
That's right.
Now, you might be wondering, why are we organizing only one closet? Well, you can organize as many as you want, but we're trying to keep this list as doable as possible. And if you say, okay, I'm going to find time to clean out the 7 closets in my house, well, when are you going to do that? But if we say, you need to just clean one closet, like, oh, well, that I can do. I can organize and clean out one closet. And how long can it take? Even a big closet shouldn't take you more than an hour or so. So that's what we're looking at, is organize just one closet this summer.
And so we were talking here about 12 hours. That'll take a little time because of that garage organization, but you're only spending about $80. So you see, this is a very manageable list, something that requires very little expense, very little time, very few tools, and all of it's available right now for you to download at todayshomeowner.com/4seasons. Use the number 4. And all of this is brought to you by our friends at Home Depot. How doers get more done. Thank you so much for being with Joe Truini and me, Danny Lipford, for the special Today's Homeowner podcast. We'll talk with you soon.